We are live. We are live. So says YouTube. So I want to cover a couple of things tonight. I anticipate this to be kind of shortish, but I want to talk about a couple of things. Doug, how are you? Barb, good evening. Moonpie's in the house. John, how are you, man? Briggs is in the house. He's out running around. He just got out of the pool. I don't know why he has this insatiable desire. It doesn't matter where you're at in the yard. He'll get out of the pool and he won't shake until he walks right up next to you, which is always such a cool thing. I'll let a couple of people jump in. I want to jump kind of into this. John's in the house. Justin, welcome. Jonathan Hughes, James J, truck driver, Justin. Coda Shell? Did I get that right? Aaron's in the house. Food Mooch, welcome, buddy. All right, so if you followed my previous channel for any amount of time, Big Tex, Corey, Trucker Steve, Dwayne, Miles, John, if you guys follow my previous channel, you know that I'm a big fan of numbers, I'm a big fan of math. I think they tell a really strong story relative to business. Joe's in the house. How are you, Joe? George, Danny. I had something happen to me. In fact, I had lunch with Joe Harding yesterday. I was talking about this. I had something happen to me. So look, if you're a parent, okay, if you're a parent, the most amazing thing that'll probably ever happen to you in your life is watching your son or daughter, being born, right? That's the most amazing thing that'll ever happen in our lives. So take that and let's set it aside. Aside from that, this is what happened to me Sunday was the most amazing thing that I've ever seen in my life. I think it will probably, there's a real good chance this may be the most amazing thing that happens in my life. And the cool thing was I had the opportunity to capture a little bit of this. Hey, Charlie. I had the opportunity to capture a little bit of this on video. So let me give you guys kind of the backstory. So Sunday, we had a long week, and I was ready not to be around people. I called several golf courses, and I said, is there a block? Is there a window? I'm willing to pay for a couple of tee times on either side. I just don't really want to deal with other humans, right? True story. A couple courses laughed at me. One guy said, I know exactly what you're going through. Yes, we got some spots come out at this time. So I did. A couple guys snuck out before me. No. This is not a hole-in. I've had hole-in-ones. This is the real deal, guys. This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. So it's slow. There's a group in front of me. They snuck in. I get to the second hole. There's a guy comes up behind me, and I'm like, oh man, this guy, it's slow. He's gonna want to join. I don't really want to talk to other people. Sure enough, guy comes up. Hey, it looks like it's really slow. You mind if I join? Turn around, he's got his son with him. I said, no, that's fine, come on. He says, hi, introduce himself, whatever. And I don't ever tell the guy anything more than just my first name. His son is named Robbie. Robbie, no, John, this is not a Caddyshack. The only thing this has to do with golf is the fact that it happened on a golf course. Stick around, you'll see. So we kind of get into this, and the dad's name is Rob, the son is named Robbie. Okay, Robbie is 11. Nice, just really sweet kid. And so I go over to introduce myself to Robbie to shake his hand, and his dad says, hey, just want to let you know, Robbie is autistic. Now, I have not been around a child that has autism before, and so Rob kind of explains situation, and so Robbie was kind of sitting on his iPhone, just kind of real quietly, just kind of mumbling some different stuff about what he was looking at on the internet and what have you. And so as the round progresses, a couple holes later, he says, you know, just I was talking to Robbie a little bit, and then his dad says, Robbie has some really unique abilities. And I was like, really? You know, tell me about him. And he said, Robbie has the ability to identify the day of the week for any date as long as it's not before the year 1710. It's a relatively wide range in my mind, right? In my mind. And it goes and going forward into perpetuity. I'm like, well, that's all right. That's cool, right? That's cool. I'm just kind of getting my head around that, kind of thinking. So my mind, right? You guys that know me, my mind's like, all right. So there's a formula for this. So I'm thinking, what's that formula? How do you figure it out? It's kind of how my mind's working. I'm not fully grasping the totality of what I am about to witness and what I have on video to share with a couple of you guys. So I don't want to be rude and or offensive, because I don't, you know, I've only known this guy for 20 minutes or so, right? Whatever it is. As we get into it, Robbie's beginning to, you know, to kind of come out of his shell a little bit. He's talking a little bit more, and so his dad says, it kind of shows me in real life what's going on with a couple of different examples. And part of me, I got to be honest with you guys. I was telling Joe Harding this yesterday. Part of me is I'm sort of looking around going, are these canned questions? Are like, am I on canned? Is like Ashton Kutcher going to jump out of, you know, some tree, right, or whatever? That sort of thing. And it's a weird thing, and I'm not buying it. If you guys want to know the truth, okay, I'm not buying it. 100%. I'm sort of like, this is cool, but again, I haven't grasped the totality and seen everything I'm about to see. So as a couple of things unfold, let me see if I can pull this up. As a couple of things unfold, my mind was absolutely blown, and I asked his dad, I asked Robbie's dad, I said, this is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. Would you mind, could I capture this on video? I want to send this to my son, because my son, who has like almost a 4.0, I want my son to step it up, right? And he's like, hey, Briggsy. And he's like, no, it's cool. So here's how this story, here's how the dad, all right, truck driver, hang tight. So here's how this unfolded. The dad says, about a year and a half ago, a friend of mine was inviting me over to a birthday party. And he says, whatever, hey, it's going to be on October, whatever, which was about a month or two ahead. And Robbie, the son, says, that's whatever day. And so they sort of turned around. As it turns out, actually, let me just play this. Let me play it for you guys. Let me play it for you guys. Hang on just a second. So I'm going to turn this around. I got to see. Can you get, all right, you guys can see that, right? All right, so my son was born February 27th. Ooh, all right, hang on. We have a technical problem. Ooh, all right, hang on. I got to mute the other one. Bear with me. All right, let me try this again. Here we go. How to mute the other one so that you guys don't get the background. So I'm going to show you this clip, and then I'm going to tell you about something else that I realized as this unfolds. So here we go. Let's try this again. So this is Robbie. Here you go. All right. So my son was born February 27th, 2002.
Wednesday.
Dude, that's just awesome.
And how old is he?
15.
15.
That's awesome.
15 and almost 16.
Almost
That's
16, right.
That's right. That is so cool.
All
right, wait for this.
Robbie, Scott's son, when will he turn 57 years old.
February 27th, 2059.
And what day of the week will that be?
Thursday.
That'll be a Thursday.
All right, so here comes the next clip. Now it gets a little bit windy. I want to tell you what's going on here. Just kind of preface this. So Robbie comes out of the cart and he's talking about statehood dates, right? When a state became a state, and he's talking about, oh wait, hang on, Brendan. So what he's doing is he's talking. Now his dad admits, his dad's like me, you, any of the rest of us, like we might be lucky to know 1, 2. I don't even remember when Oklahoma, and I took Oklahoma history when I was there in high school. I don't remember when it was. So Robbie's talking about this, and he tells his dad when the statehood dates are. And then I ask, and it's kind of tough to tell because it gets windy really quick. I interrupt and I say, what is the statehood date for Oklahoma? And you guys can see how quick he answers this. So let me continue on with this.
It's incredible.
Oh, they have the same statehood date.
Nevada and Utah statehood dates.
Have the same?
Statehood dates were October 31st, 1864 and January 4th, 1896.
What about Oklahoma?
November 16th, 1907.
Dude, you can at least pause.
I know, right? At least think about it.
Could you guys hear that? I don't know if you guys can hear. I hope that you guys can hear that. Can you guys hear that? So here's what. Here's where things got really crazy. Okay, here's where things got really crazy. So So what happened? So I showed you those clips, okay? Prior to that, his dad had said, "Scott, what's your birthday?" Kind of a deal, right? And he answered it before his dad. He answered the day of the week before his dad ever finished the question. And so about 2 holes go by, and so my mind is like, there's a formula, right? There's 7 days in a week, and so I'm thinking, okay, years, and it goes back to 1710, and his dad asked like these random things. And so in my mind is like, what's the formula? How does this work out? And I'm grinding on this for 2 solid holes of golf, which is probably 30 minutes. I'm about to hit a golf shot. I'm literally about to take the club away when it hits me. Because part of me thought there's like some really simple formula, okay? There's some really simple formula. But then this hit me, okay? Then this hit me. I'm literally taking the club back, and I turned around and I said, holy crap. Well, kinda. And his dad's like, what? And I said, I just realized we've been asking him these questions for dates, 100, 150 years in the past. And he is actually taking into account leap years. And oh, by the way, the leap years that don't count. This young man is in less than a second factoring in hundreds of years, days a week, and leap years, and when they don't matter, in less than a second. Less than a second. I don't know if you guys can see the goosebumps on my arm. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Now, his dad goes on, yes, Jay Cannell, this was a literal walking, talking, incredibly sweet, incredibly cute supercomputer Rain Man. It was the most incredible thing, and I wish that I would have captured more of this. I did, and I told his dad I wanted to do this. And his dad was like, absolutely, it's cool. You can imagine how this could come across as we're trying to, you can see how this could be construed in an ugly way, right? Or you can look at it and say, creating awareness for this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? His dad was absolutely no big deal that this would be cool. Here's the sad. There's some sadness to this, and here's the thing, right? So, this young man's mother is an alcoholic. Is probably not going to live due to some organ failure longer than a year. his grandparents are in their late 80s. And so the dad, here's something that a lot of us don't ever have to deal with. His dad said, you know, my biggest fear is, you know, obviously Robbie's going to need full-time care for the rest of his life. My biggest fear is, you know, how do I do something, find something for him where he can make a living and afford this care that he's going to need, that sort of stuff. And he said, you know, I'm totally scared every day about how do I not get in an accident or not something bad not happen to me as his dad, because, you know, within a couple of years, who knows what could happen, right? Kind of a deal. So we had kind of that dark, heavy conversation. So the dad asked me, he said, hey, can I buy you a drink after the round? And I'm telling you, 101% of the time, I always say no thanks. I was so thankful that he asked me. I said, absolutely, right? I wanted to spend more time with Robbie. And so we go in, and so I buy dinner and what have you. We're leaving the restaurant. Let me tell you this part of the story. We're leaving the restaurant. They lived in Hawaii. They've been in Arizona now for about a year. The reason they moved here is because Hawaii has no good schools. Hey Larry, how are you? Hawaii has no good schools for autistic children. And so he did some research, and they had lived here. His dad had lived here once many years ago, so they ended up in Arizona. And so the interesting thing about Robbie, so they still have a home over in Hawaii. So the interesting thing about Robbie, he doesn't say our home in Hawaii, right? He recites the exact address, city, and zip code. So as we're walking out, he says, and look, this is how bad it is. Whatever Monday's date was yesterday, we all work in transportation. Like, we don't even know what day it is anymore. So whatever the next day was, Robbie says, Dad, our house at XYZ address, in the white refrigerator, so the dad says we have 2 refrigerators, one in the garage, one inside. In the white refrigerator, the A1 steak sauce expires tomorrow. Dad, we need to throw it out. It's going to be sour. I turned to his dad and I said, when was the last time you guys were at that house? He said it was probably 6-8 months ago. He said, Robbie, in every house that he goes into, he will look at all the sauces in the door, line them up in chronological date of when they expire, and he can tell you what sauce expired. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, guys, right? It just goes, hey, you're exactly right, Rhymes with Warren. So his dad, when we started this round of golf, or when I met them during this round of golf, his dad says he has 100% accurate recall. And I'm like, yeah, okay, right. You know, I can't remember, you know, what I wore yesterday. He does. He has 100% accurate recall. And so as we're going through this and all these questions are going on, right, I'm pulling up my phone as I'm on the golf course. I don't know what I shot. I don't even care. I'm pulling up all this stuff on the phone, looking it up, and we probably ask 100 or some odd random questions. He never missed one, ever. Never missed one. So I am not familiar with the, I guess, and I don't know which original tribal language it was in Hawaii, but it sounds rather complex. This young man is all self-taught. Okay, so his dad didn't know that he even had taught himself this stuff. He also taught himself the original Hawaiian language. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. And my mind was blown, guys. My mind was blown. And ultimately, I told his dad that I know about 300,000 drivers that could use help with their cost per mile. Maybe we could help him out and monetize it that way. It was incredible. I've never seen the like of it. I don't think I'll ever see anything like it again. you know, the guy gave me his number and said he'd love to, you know, to get together again and play golf, and I said absolutely. Words, it's hard to describe the words to describe what I witnessed, and I want to share it with you guys because it's just it's such a rare thing. It is really incredible. And then, you know, you realize that as an autistic child, he has the brain of, I mean, I don't even know what other than a supercomputer. He's obviously very high functioning, and it is, Vic, it's a unique talent. And to think that at 8-9 years old, you know, the young man taught himself all of this. With all the negativity that is going on in our country, even within our industry, I just thought it would be something that would be positive to share with you guys. As a lot of guys know, I can't really stop talking about this. I've shared this with a couple different guys that I know in our industry, and everybody's sort of like, okay, yeah, I get it, but until you witness it, it's sort of like taking a picture, right? I could show you guys a picture and you go, oh yeah, that's pretty, but you know, you couldn't experience the totality of what we witnessed. You know, maybe I thought it would be cool, maybe, you know, to kind of have at some point have Robbie maybe come on the channel and do a live feed with him, again, really with the intent of creating just more awareness for autism and stuff like that. But I thought it might be cool to have you guys, you know, ask some questions. And you have to understand, right, there are a lot of, as amazing as this is, there are some limits, and a lot of times his dad kind of has to ask the question the right way. But I thought it might be kind of fun for him. He's a really amazing kid. He's really cute. He kind of likes to ham it up. And that kind of stuff. So maybe we have the opportunity. I'll try to like announce it. You know, maybe we can get a bunch of people in, and that would be cool. You know, it's just like something I've never seen. And like I said, and then, you know, in fact that night, right, all of the Las Vegas stuff was going on. So like I said, it's just amazing to see that, and it sort of makes you feel it makes you feel so minuscule in the overall scheme of life, and so it's cool. It's a really positive feeling to be around a young man like that, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Keith, you know, it is one of those things that it's something that we've seen the movie Rain Man, and you're sort of like, oh yeah, that's cool, that was a great movie, whatever, right? But to see it in a young man in real life, it was just nuts. It really was. So like I said, I just thought it would be something kind of positive with all that's going on in our industry. And you know, candidly, I had thoughts of talking about a few other things in our industry that are going on that are a little frustrating, but I really think I don't even want to dilute, you know, this video and that with that stuff. So let me just kind of jump up and let's just take a couple questions, and then I'll let you guys kind of go on your way. But like I said, I just want to share that with you. You know, it was the first time I've been around, like I said, autism, and it prompted me to go and do a little bit more research and understand, you know, what that's all about. You know, Ernie Els is a professional golfer. His son, his family is impacted by, you know, an autistic child as well, and so he does a lot of good stuff with it as well. Let's see here. No, truck driver survival. I'm sure somebody else said refresh. Shadow Wolf is good stuff. You're absolutely right. Alex is in the house. Truck driver is still having trouble, I guess, or did. I'm not sure. Canella is here. Shadow Wolf is here. John Hull. Let's see. Definition one check mind. Impressive. Yeah. So think about that, right? I don't know if you guys caught one of the videos. In fact, I've mentioned this a couple times. It's one of the videos talking about how to be successful in your business, and I talked about studies on the brain and that you know, our long-term memory can hold about, gosh, see, look, I think it was 2.5 terabytes, which is the equivalent of about 2.5, I think, billion gigabytes long-term memory. So I think that equated to like 300 years of TV. Now imagine what this young man has. It's hard to really comprehend. What you walk away after spending some time with Robbie is how powerful the human brain really is, and how little of it even some of the smartest people that we know really tap into. Amazing. And for sure. All right, truck driver survival, finally got the live feed, good. Food Mooch, you're right. Autistic people are smarter than people think. You guys just saw it. Like I said, there's no real words for it. Good. I'm glad you guys were able to hear it. I was wondering. Danny Brinkley says his neighbor's son has autism. He can't tie his shoes, but builds his own games, and the computer has it. Yeah. And that was kind of some of the stuff, Danny, that Rob, his father, was saying, is that you know, a lot of the experts in the autistic field tell parents, right, they need to be, you know, very structured, very organized, and this and that. And his dad said, you know what, my parental instinct said that I shouldn't do that with my son, so I didn't feed him at the same time. I didn't give him very, you know, specific diets. This kid has probably eaten more expensive food than probably all of us in this room combined, and it's just kind of expanded his ability to experience the world, which is really cool. It was really, there was just such a genuineness to this father and son as we were having dinner. You know, just his son just kind of wrapping his arm around his dad and giving him hugs and kiss on the cheek. There was, you know, there was just such a genuine, real realness to the entire situation, and to realize that, yeah, we are watching Rain Man. It was crazy. Yeah, Food. He is incredibly smart. I asked his dad if he knew what level he was on. His areas of expertise. Again, he's kind of self-taught. The entire time we were on the course, he's just Googling stuff, randomness, and he would recite the date, and then he would say what, you know, day of the week it was. But yeah, his expertise seems to be in some geography and dates. Dates are really big. Not surprisingly, he's pretty solid with math, he said. But he said he really doesn't have any idea to what level he is at certain aspects, because it's so off the charts. Not surprising. Say, here's the thing. Think about this for just a minute. Could you imagine if he was a woman? So as a guy, women never forget the bad things that we do. Could you imagine if Robbie was a woman, and he was married? Like, he would never forget anything bad we ever did. It would constantly be thrown back in our face. No, Mike, he did not golf. He just rode along. Yeah, John Shepard, I hope you're right. Let's see, Cheryl Turner says, I think you would have enjoyed it here. Yes, exactly right. That's what I thought, Cheryl. I thought we could all use a little something positive, and man, it was, like I said, I just gave you guys a snapshot. Like I said, hopefully maybe in a couple of weeks I'll try to have him on the channel and something like that. Let's see, Bri M, you're welcome. Thank you. Heavy duty. Great video, but I have freight to move tomorrow. Take care, buddy. I don't think Jay ever did give out hats. Nick Simmery's got a new job. Congrats, buddy. Let's see. Corey Morrow says, to me, autistic, their brain is smarter than the rest of us. That's true. I mean, I witnessed it firsthand. It was nuts. Pepper Fantastic. I'm autistic, have other issues. I'm the same as you, just described in that kid, but I'm 34, diagnosed when I was 28. Well, man, hats off to you, honestly. you know, I can only imagine. I think a lot of us, we can only imagine some of the challenges that that people that have other disabilities, you know, face. And so, so I can't imagine. But hats off to you, man, Mr. Vacation. I agree with you. Yeah, right. Well, and that's what his dad said, Food Mooch. His dad said, you know, some of the obvious, you know, kind of career ideas are, you know, accountant, CPA, and some of the other stuff. And ironically, this was mentioned too. And again, I've never mentioned to his father kind of what I do, what we do. He did mention that a friend of theirs has a transportation company here in the States, and they after seeing Robbie, they hired an individual with autism that was very strong in numbers, and he's doing some great stuff. And so he mentioned, I'm thinking about that. And so I just kind of off the cuff, I said, well, what little I know about that industry, the margins are maybe pretty slim. Maybe put them into, like, you know, stocks where the margins can be pretty high, and he can analyze trends. Put them into a space where there's good money. Yeah, Stuart, I'm with you. Exactly, I agree. Mike Rigsby says, yeah, he was around a few autistic kids. He worked in school transportation. They knew routes better than a lot of the drivers, and a couple of them were used to actually putting new drivers. Yeah, I can totally see that. I can absolutely see that. I mean, literally, there were times when we asked, there were several times when I was asking a question, and I didn't even finish the sentence, and he was already answering it. It's just... Yeah, Pepper, I know Kleinfelders, I've heard, you know, I've read a little bit about that, and I know it can be incredibly taxing with depression. You bet. Jim, you're right, it is. It is amazing. Corey, take care. George, take care. Yep. No, I agree. It was incredible. Guys, I'll cut it short. We're about 30 minutes. Like I said, the intent was, there's a lot of negativity going around. And it was a really bright light for me, and I thought I would share it with you guys. It was just a cool thing, and like I said, I'll talk to Rob and see what we can't pull together. I think it would be neat to kind of see us and see if we can't have him on and do some fun stuff and maybe create some exposure, that kind of thing. That'd be cool, guys. Let's see. Barb says, look forward to hearing from them. Sure, absolutely. Oh, thanks, Pepper. I appreciate that. Food Mooch says, taking first load in Minnesota tomorrow night. So pumped. Come on, man. Wait until December or January to take a load in Minnesota. TJ, take care, buddy. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, Roger. I do hear a lot of sirens. Cool, guys. I'll let you guys go. Like I said, just something. Well, that was timely. Had a call. We'll wrap it up. Let you guys go. Bright spot for the week. Keep Robbie in your prayers. He certainly needs it, as well as a lot of other people, obviously, around our country and Vegas and their families. You guys take care. As always, my opinion from this side of the steering wheel, be safe.